Round 5, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Check the top 10. This is the way they finished in Heat 1. Craig Lowndes was the victor and on pole position now. Alongside him, Larry Perkins. Second row, John Bowe and Peter Brock.
Row number 3, the Castrol Commodore of Russell Ingall alongside pack leader racing Alan Jones. Row 4 has Stephen Richards in the Valvoline's Cummins Commodore, Coca-Cola Racing's Wayne Gardner.
And the top 10 on the grid for this event, Paul Romano is in position number 9 and the 10th spot is occupied by Glenn Seaton. Question is, can Lowndes do it again? Larry Perkins might have something to say about that. Does it again. Perkins well away, but cannot match the youngster from Melbourne. Holden Racing Team's Craig Lowndes, winner of the opening heat, first off the mark again, first into the top corner. John Bowe, great start by him, overhauls Larry Perkins, slots into second spot.
Stephen Richards, a great start, going a little wide on the corner there. Alan Jones also up there. Looks like one of the Castrol cars' early casualty.
Peter Brock, Alan Jones also just in there behind the pace of the top 3. Russell Ingall missing the opportunity at the start and getting shuffled back. It's Wayne Gardner, the Coke Commodore. Stephen Richards now getting shuffled out of there as well. Russell Ingall, Peter Brock. John Bowe, though, has latched onto his tail and will not let... Oh,
he's
Lowndes is off!
And so's Bowe.
Well, that's remarkable because there was no touch there.
That's a big accident.
Oh, it is a bad one. That is John Bowe. Now, there didn't appear to be any touch between those cars at all.
No, but I think that maybe there was some oil on the road there, or Craig has gone off and Bowe's jumped on the brakes to try and avoid the accident, and he's gone off as well. He's had a hard brake, maybe locked the brake. We won't know until we see them.
Sensation here. The first lap, this second heat. John Bowe, okay, out of the car and walking away.
I think you'll find they'll stop this, but it'll be, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Not so far, and here we go. There's Craig Lowndes. Now, he's just run a little wide now. Now, Bowe actually did drop a rear wheel off there, so they've both run a little bit wide, maybe not enough heat into their tyres or whatever. Very unusual for two guys running at the front to have this sort of accident by themselves at the same time. But that's thank God no one was hurt. And we've got a fantastic dice for the lead. Perkins, Gardner, who made a great start from 7th, and nothing between the group of them.
Well, this has really opened right up here with Craig Lowndes and John Bowe out of action. Larry Perkins leading from... Oh, it's another one gone off on the infield. That's Brock. There's nobody hopping out the passenger side door.
It's going to be a busy day in the HRT pit. Larry Perkins v. Wayne Gardner at the pointy end of the field. Yeah. These two have opened up a nice little buffer already. Gardner looking down the outside.
It's him.
Stephen Richards takes Alan Jones in behind them for third spot.
And there's Glenn Seaton lurking very close behind. The thing is here, what I can't understand is there isn't a dry and wet line. There we have Russell Ingall in the pits, but the track's dry. Maybe there's a little bit of oil down or something. Or the other thing that might explain a little bit of this is they're all out on green tyres except for Glenn Seaton, which basically means they haven't done any running the previous day, and so the tyres are quite slippery for 3 laps or so until they actually come in and get a bit of bite. They haven't had a chance to scrub them in at all. But here we see Larry Perkins certainly going very hard out in front.
Most importantly, the 3 drivers involved in the incidents have gone out of the car and are A-OK.
Glenn Seaton is the big mover, now up to third spot, having come off 10th grid position. Of course, 3 of the players in front of him have been taken out. But nonetheless, great effort by Seaton.
Stephen Richards, Tony Longhurst, Alan Jones all up in the running, and Dick Johnson on the back of the freight train after starting in position number 18 after a DNF earlier on, has really moved through the field. He's got the benefit of fresh tyres. Glenn Seaton, though, as Gary said, is the mover and shaker in the field. He's opened a little buffer on Stephen Richards and has the rear guard of the Coca-Cola Commodore in his sights.
Well, Dick Johnson was out of business on the first lap, first corner, in fact, of the first heat. He was on the tail end of in the first corner, ran into the back of Stephen Ellery, and that put him out of business there, but he's back up and running, doing well here.
Larry's car seems to be a little quicker than the WGR car. Just through the next corner, the sweeper onto the straight and off the straight. Gardner drops a little bit back and looks to maybe lose a little bit of speed here. And then, of course, he hauls him in back around the other end of the circuit.
Race cam with Glenn Seaton trying to look for a way underneath. The Coke car of Wayne Gardner under the bridge at the start-finish line. Larry Perkins in front. Here comes Seaton. Gives Gardner the go-by straight down the inside at the end of the main straight.
Well, that'd be very frustrating for Wayne. I mean, Seaton's just pulled out of his slipstream and driven straight past him.
Glenn Seaton, of the 6 V8 races here at the island, Seaton has won 5 of them. It's his nominated test track, and he really is showing the benefit of plenty of laps around this beautiful layout here. Alan Jones, car 301, into pit lane.
He was dicing around the same part of the circuit with Dick Johnson around the back there when we saw him slow down.
Seaton nice and close to Larry Perkins. There's the view from the Glenn Seaton car, the Ford Credit Racing Falcon EF. They talk about parity. There's a Holden and a Ford. They start to wind up into the long left-hander.
Now, the big winner out of all this, of course, is going to be Glenn Seaton, because looking at the championship point score, the only other 2 guys that are in front of him in a minute are laying against walls and littered around the circuit. So a win or a second in this is going to put him right back in it. And, of course, Craig's car looked that bad that he definitely wouldn't start the next race, and Bowes is the same. So Glenn could walk away from this being the championship leader.
Well, after seeing what he did to Wayne Gardner on the main straight last lap round, it'll be interesting to see what sort of a move he can pull on Larry Perkins this time. Will he have the straight line speed or not?
Brad has mentioned a comparison between the Seaton and the Gardner cars. Now we see Seaton v Perkins. Down the main straightaway, Seaton looks on the outside. Not that time around.
I think Perkins has got a little bit more horsepower than Wayne Gardner. He's acknowledged as certainly having one of, if not the strongest Commodore in the circuit, but Glenn's, all over him, and that's a spot where Larry tickled him up in the race before, but he wasn't time for payback.
Early days yet.
Oh, I think Glenn's just biding his time here. No doubt in the next couple of laps he'll find a way by. Larry's covering all his bases. Look at that car squirm under brakes there. He's getting maximum amount out of that. And, of course, Glenn's just catching him in the middle of the corner here.
Seaton, perhaps, I think, may have even been forced to get off the throttle a little bit there. Perkins wide. Seaton looks down low. Ooh. These two have had it coming together already today. That was in heat number 1. No place for the faint-hearted at Phillip Island today. Larry Perkins leads from Glenn Seaton. Looking out the front of the Falcon EF. Not even half race distance.
Well, this is just a great dice between these 2 front runners. Not a split inch between them. Perkins at the moment holding on, being pressured enormously by Seaton. Fair gap back now to the 3rd place getter, and that's Russell Ingall. So the Castrol cars running 1st and 3rd at the present time. This will be a red letter day for them.
Larry's actually getting away from Glenn a little bit there on the way into that corner, but as you can see, Glenn squeezing onto the throttle, just hanging onto the back of the Perkins car. He's in the slipstream now. They'll get under the bridge. He'll pull to one side or the other to try and go by him. There he goes. But too far. You can't get around the outside of him there. So tuck back in.
Seaton looking for the long way round. Once again under brakes, closing right up on Perkins. Again a peak on the inside. He did this last time around, and this is where he put the pressure on Perkins.
Bad luck for Stephen Richards, who finished the first heat so well and started this one so well.
He was in fact in 3rd position, which is an outstanding effort for one of our leading privateers. This is where Perkins bobbled last time around. Seaton out wide looking for the low exit. Not to be. You can bet if you're going to pass Larry Perkins, you are going to do it the hard way. He will not give you an inch.
That's where he's going to have a go at him. If they just touch there. It's interesting. Glenn's cars definitely seems to have the upper hand through all the medium to slower corners, but Larry's car is pretty fast through the fast sweeping stuff. So Glenn's just going to have to chip away at that and see how he goes.
In behind this pair, Russell Ingall in third place and Wayne Gardner for Coca-Cola holding down fourth spot, just coming over the rise.
In fact, I think it could be even Tony Longhurst, who started well back in the pack. And row number 6 that's moved up to third, Gardner, Scaife, Johnson, Romano. Dumsney is up to position number 8. A very good effort, only his second touring car outing. Main straightaway time once again. Seaton's got the outside. What's he going to do this time around? As they cross the strike, it is half race distance. Again, he looks to the left. There's a right-hand corner coming up, and I would suggest Perkins has the line. He, in fact, does. Now, this is where Seaton, as Brad mentioned earlier, really manages to gain a lot of metres on the Castrol Commodore. Again, ducking inside, a little taily, the Perkins car. And a great appreciation of the speed these cars are doing. A long, sweeping left-hander. And it's time to jump on the anchors very shortly. The right-hander. And this is a great battle. A battle far from over. And it's simply not a case of horsepower. The game plan is being used. Who has got the best coach? We will wait and see. Let's have a look at the Shell race score. Larry Perkins leads from Glenn Seaton. Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon. Wayne Gardner, Mark Scaife round out the 5.
Larry Perkins stalling off Glenn Seaton at this stage of the race with a good break over Tony Longhurst. Mark Scaife has called it a day and is into the garage. A problem there. We know not what at this stage, but he's out of business for this race at least.
Well, there's 5 laps to go, and there's no shortage of action. Cars, you know, falling off and breaking down everywhere. It's certainly nothing like what we expected.
Well, these two are certainly standing the test so far. And Glenn Seaton, you've got to hand it to him. He's staged a remarkable drive in both the first heat and now here in the second heat, and is certainly throwing the gauntlet right down to Larry Perkins.
Well, he's given Larry a couple of little nudges to let him know that he's there and he's wanting to come by. He's only 5 laps left to do it in, and I think things could get a touch more frantic from here on in.
A great advertisement for the quality field and the depth of the field when you've got drivers like Bow, Scaife, Brock and Lowndes already out of the race, and the race can just be so interesting. It's so close up the front of the field. 7.5 racing laps complete. Larry Perkins looking for victory, and Glenn Seaton still in second. There's the Tony Longhurst car. Dick Johnson has moved up to occupy position number 4 after starting in 17. Paul Romano, Max Dumsney. There's Gardner and Stephen Ellery.
And that's it.
Well, that's fair enough. It's not over, though, as far as these two are concerned. And this is the way it's been almost from the outset. After we lost Lowndes and Bow, these two have been at it hammer and tong. And it'll be a game man to call the result at this stage. Fantastic crowd lining the main straight here at Phillip Island. What a credit it is to the sports fans here as they cross the start-finish line with 4 laps to go, that all of these people came out today all the way down to Phillip Island. And when they set out to come here, the conditions this morning were deplorable. But you're seeing Phillip Island somewhat close to its best at the moment.
Well, the track conditions must still be pretty greasy, Brad Jones. 1:37s they're running in. Lap record 1:34. So even though the track looks dry, they're still skating and sliding around a fair bit.
Well, that's right. And I'm sure Glenn can probably go a little bit quicker, but he's tied up here a bit behind Larry.
Larry's doing a fabulous job. See the car, tyres, brakes, everything's starting to get a little bit faded. But he's holding out Seaton, one of the most aggressive drivers in the business, trying every option he has available to get past Perkins. But Perkins really showing tremendous amount of experience here to hold him out.
And very good tyre choice. The Dunlop runners have a choice of not only compounds, but whether the tyres are manufactured in Japan or in England. And this is only the second time someone's used the Japanese tyres. John Bow did at Bathurst. And obviously they're working very, very well.
Take race cam with Dick Johnson, Dunlop race cam, Shell 17. As I said earlier, had a tremendously bad practice session. Couldn't get the balance in the car at all.
Horrendous start to the first heat. Yeah.
He's really been in the walls. Got a new bonnet, new front bodywork on the Shell car. Trying to fight his way back through the field.
Well, he's the sole survivor in the Shell team out there with John Bowe in that massive accident on the opening lap.
Well, he's up in 4th position, just 1 second down on Tony Longhurst, but look at this battle for the lead. It's been going on the whole race distance.
Seaton will pull out from the draft now and attempt the pass, but Perkins just won't give in. 9
laps down, 3 to go. It's a tremendous contest. 4.4 kilometre Grand Prix track at Phillip Island. Great mix of corners, slow, fast, medium, high speed. Test the drivers and the cars, the setup and the tyres to the limit. And these two cars are so evenly matched. Seaton, look down the inside, building up to 240 kilometres an hour as they swing down under the Foster's Bridge and up toward Honda Corner once again. Perkins covering his tracks. Seaton tries to look around the outside. They passed the pack leader car, gave them plenty of room out of Honda, down towards Siberia. Seaton trying to plan his move, but there's nothing in this. It's going to be a big, desperate lunge somewhere very close behind the Castrol Commodore through Siberia.
And that's a place I think that he'll actually have a go at him. Larry leaves a bit of a hole there, and Glenn can probably fit half a car in it. So we'll see how desperate he is to win this race in the next couple of laps.
Accelerating hard up the hill, 230, 240k. As they take the rise up Lukey Heights, the car gets very light, very skatey over here. Perkins holds his line. Seaton, flames belching from the exhaust of the Ford Credit Falcon as he works back through the gears and hangs onto the back of the Castrol hold. A little bit sideways out of there, you can see as he tries to get that power to the ground. Massive torque from these V8 engines. We take Dunlop Race Cam again, right behind Tony Longhurst. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th position. So it's Perkins and Seaton, about 6 seconds up the road from this battle for 3rd and 4th. Tony Longhurst struggling to get some speed out of this Castrol Ford last year, but boy, now he's got Ralph Bellamy, former BMW engineer and Formula 1 mechanic working for the team, and it seems to be working great guns. Here's the battle for the lead. 2 laps to go. Just over 8-9 kilometres left. Larry Perkins still in control. He wouldn't want to throw this one away this late in the race. Look how close Seaton is. Right up behind Perkins as they sweep through the southern loop. Take race cam with the Castrol car. Looking back at Seaton, you can just about see the eyes.
You can almost feel Glenn's frustration sitting here looking at him.
And the eyes are beyond in the Ford Credit Falcon, make no mistake.
Well, he's keeping the pressure on Perkins, hoping Larry comes up with an error, but very rarely does he do that. And Seaton's just going to have to do it all on his own to try and get by. He can't rely on Larry to make a blue.
Well, classic Ford Holden battle this. Keep in mind, too, with Lowndes and Bowe, our main title contenders out. This is really going to open the championship up. Big haul of points here for Perkins and Seaton. We've got one more heat to go. We could leave Phillip Island with a very tight tree at the top of the championship table. Race cam again with Seaton right up behind the wing of the Castrol Commodore. You can see struggling with the car, just gingerly feathering the throttle as they come over the rise. Car gets very light, brakes on. Enough to get alongside Perkins, but it's not going to be a position to overtake. Larry's going to have to make a bit of a blue here as they come back toward pit straight once again.
He's definitely right on him.
Coming around to get the last lap board. Can Glenn Seaton pull it out of the box here on the last lap?
These two still cutting times, 1:37.3, just locked together, 100th of a second apart. They've opened the gap up 6 seconds over Longhurst and Johnson back in 3rd and 4th, and Romano, a great run from the youngster in the pack leader Falcon. Look at this, Perkins still in control as they swing through turn 1 for the final time. Just under 200 kilometres an hour, braking hard for Southern Loop, down to about 120k.
Half dozen corners left for Glenn Seaton.
Muscling hard with the apex. Look how close Perkins is.
Blue.
To Seaton. Look, we take race cam. Last lap board goes up. And this is one of the most popular areas down here. Honda Corner, you can see Perkins using every ounce of the braking capacity of that car.
Oh, so close.
So close.
I don't think it's close enough to have a shot at him here.
Down through Siberia once again. He has a big look down the inside. Perkins leaves a little bit of room, pulls the nose in toward the apex, really muscling the Castrol Commodore to hold the Ford Credit Falcon out. Opening
was there, but he just couldn't take advantage of it, Glenn Seaton. I think that might have been his last chance.
Feeding it some gears, accelerating back up toward Lukey Heights, 220, 230 kilometres an hour through the S's. Up over the rise for the final time. Perkins only got to hold it together for another kilometre or so, but Seaton taking the attack right under the car. Oh, he's so
had to be a touch.
But Larry lives, and he's fighting tooth and nail to hang on to this. He's fought for it the whole race. 11 laps, 12 laps completed as they come across the line. This will be the last one. Can Perkins hold him out, or will Seaton have a big lunge? A bit of more exit speed as they come onto the pit straight for the final time. Right up behind the Castrol Commodore, pulls out alongside, but Perkins will hold him. Fabulous race.
Fantastic.
Oh, Larry Perkins is the winner, stalling Glenn Seaton to the line by a half car length. Just 0.14 of a second in it, and Dick Johnson crosses the line in third place. That's a great drive by him for the man who qualified 15th yesterday. Hats off to Lightning Larry, winner, Heat 2, Round 5, the Touring Car Championship in the Castrol Commodore, holding out Glenn Seaton. Third place going to Dick Johnson. Tony Longhurst was 4th, and Paul Romano, fantastic effort to finish in 5th place. Max Dumsney was 6th, followed by Steve Ellery, Wayne Gardner, Stephen Richards, and Alan Jones finishing in 10th position. More excitement to come from Phillip Island.